Okay. Now let's see if I can. Oh, let's put this on. That's scary. Okay. Put this out of the way. Hey, boy. You're the best boy, Lucky. GTII, Ted, Sway, Akronova, KYP. KYP, anytime you want to lose to Ham at pickleball, he said he'll meet you in Brooklyn. You pick the park. I have a feeling you could kick his butt. I have a feeling you could kick his butt. Finger is 479. In 1 minute, we're going to go live, so I don't really have much to say. About a minute. About a minute. Just got to find the words. While you're in the world, I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. You know, it's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. You know, I'm not one of those who can easily hide. But you know, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the most beautiful eyes that I've ever seen. All right, gotta go. Gotta do it. All right, you ready? All right, you're live. You are live.
All right, everybody. Friday, the 2:45 call. This is Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon here. Okay. Again, this is not to buy or sell, educational about naked short selling. We will give you our opinions. Take it with a grain of salt. You make your own determination on what you do. We will try to give you a recap of what we see and what's happening. And again, we cannot confirm everything that's going on. So just like I said, this is from our experience and what we see going on. All right, so I'll go over a couple of things, William, and then we'll go from there. First of all, GTI shareholders should give a big shout out to Yorkville for being naked short wolf. They were holding it down below $1. We suffered a little bit, but the group of people that I know are all very happy. They made over $1.70 a share on millions of invested, and they are selling wolf into strength just to use it as a source of funds, and they are buying GTII. Okay, this is what they're doing with their profits. Again, this is not my money. These are people that I know, and when we followed wolf, it turned into a great trade, and now it's actually trading like it should do. But again, using it as a source of funds to play other things. All right, that's life. But again, thank you, Yorkville, for being a total scumbag. We appreciate taking the money from you. All right, so that's number one. Number two, I heard something this morning about PWM, that they were going to squeeze it. It was $7, it was $9.50, $10 when I heard about it. I know nothing about it. I heard that they were going to squeeze it, and they sure did. It went to 20 today, 1960 on 22 million shares. That's what we're looking for in Finger. I'm not looking for a 8% rise. I'm looking for a nice punished 220%, 230%, 500% return. Okay. Again, I keep trying to tell everyone, Lynn Partners is looking for traders that have no idea what they're doing, that could just lose money, and they'll hire you, because obviously the people that are doing the trades for Lynn Partners or for the Kramers and GTII are complete buffoons. They have no idea what they're doing, and they are, in my opinion, creating chaos in the securities industry. And I just posted that Jeffries is worth $7 billion as a company. The Lynn short and finger motion, if that is, and they are their prime, could bring down Jeffries and turn it into the next Credit Suisse. So to play it safe, I'm just going to tell you, if you own Jeffries, I would be careful, think twice about it, because if they have liability on this short position, you can see what happens. Alpine's out of business. The primes disappear quickly. All right. Jeffries is not full of all these wonderful traders. They're doing all the same business as Goldman, doing deals, doing prime broker services, and to get blown up on a stock loan, whatever the hell they're doing here, okay, it's going to be a deadly blast for them, and they could lose their whole company. And for having someone in the back office look the other way to allow, if they are Lynn's prime, and to allow them to continue with this fraud, they deserve to get blown up, and that's what happened to Credit Suisse. Everybody's on the street now. Again, GTII, people that I know are selling Wolf and buying GTII. There's no rush. GTI, they just seem to keep offering shares 27, 277, the odd numbers again. Again, accumulation is how I always look at these names. Accumulation always leads to higher prices, and you can see in finger motion the slow crawl up to $5. William, we started this thing, and the $2 calls for July were 10 cents. Today they hit over 3. The 4s went up. I don't know how high. The 5s went up. Okay, they're almost in the money. Out of the money calls, everyone laughed at them. Now they're all valuable. That's how it goes in this game. All right? Imagine getting a squeeze to $10, $20 and being long the $7 calls at 40 cents and, paying $40 and selling them for 13 or 15.
I thought all you had to do was just keep selling the stock.
Right.
I didn't know it was difficult.
Right. Well, just so you understand, everyone, the naked short number is from Tom. He gets it from all the dark pools everywhere. He compiles it. He's the only one that gets the real total data on everything. We're up north of 152 million shares. They've sold in the last 2 weeks 8 to 10 million shares more, all underwater. That's not easy to do, to lose on every trade you do. That takes a special talent to do that. Just so you understand, William, I watch people get the tap on the shoulders. After 3 days of losing, get kicked out. Trading big money. Tap them on the shoulder, you're done. Someone steps in, closes your positions, and you're out. You lose $20 million in 3 days, you're gone. I don't care who you are. You could be Ken Griffin. You come into a firm, you lose that much in a few days, they throw you out. They don't sit there and say, hey, we'll give you some more. Maybe you're going to get better. That's not how it works. If you look at baseball, and I follow baseball streaks, teams go on streaks. They win 10 games, lose 10 games. You don't know. You lose 10 games in a row, you put a company out of business in this game. And that's what I see going on right now with finger
Well,
motion.
you pointed out earlier that if it is Jeffries, they only have $7 billion in market cap. And I think every 10 points finger moves, 7 points finger moves is $1 billion.
Right. Well, again, these prime brokers play with fire. They allow these guys to play, the SECs allow these guys to create these massive positions. And when it turns around and bites them on the ass, these prime brokers take a beating. And I think this day and age, that game is coming to an end. All right, so I think that someone spots it, the lights are going off. We said the same thing going on in GTII when it ran to $9. For those new to the game, GTI did go from 60 cents to $9. Okay, it's not a make believe. It did it. It wasn't because of us. We were scratching our heads saying, how are they coming up with the margin money to keep this thing alive? Well, we figured it out. Alpine was lying and hiding it. The DTC didn't catch him. That's what happens at the end. All these crimes get exposed. It's about money. The red lights were going on. Remember I said every day there's going to be flashing lights somewhere. There's got to be a problem somewhere. And it turned out that Alpine was hiding it. Whether working cahoots with the Kramers, has to be some sort of collaboration on that crime. All right. Do you have any questions, William?
Well, not really, but I think, in my experience, when people make money for the first time in calls, that's a huge disaster waiting, because you think you can do it every time. So maybe you can just talk about the calls and the premiums and what people should be doing.
Again, premium is something that, it changes in each stock. If sometimes the stock trades down a dime and all the premium disappears in your calls, the stock trades up a nickel and the premium expands. It depends on buyers and sellers at a certain time. So you have to study. Each stock has different amounts of premium depending on the stock. A stock like Tesla is very volatile, so it has huge premiums. You could be buying the 300 calls with the stock at 270 and pay $3 for them. Because everyone's afraid to, you remember the person selling to you, he's taking the other side of the bet, thinking that it's not going to go that high. So there's fear. But, this stock it has some fear premium in it. Obviously, the sevens are trading at 40 to 50 cents. That's all premium. All right, your break even on that is $7.50, so you understand it. The $5 calls, the break even is $5.75. Right, so everyone's betting it's going higher than that, and I just posted the put volume. People betting it's going down. There is not even 200. There's not even 100 puts on the day. So no one has any feeling that this is going down. So the bad guys are not doing anything as far as in the option market. All they're doing is trying to hold back the people on the long side, and that's all I see going on right now. Again. The stock, to me, looks like it's going to test that 527 number that, Tom Ronk has talked about. At 527, I'm told that the algorithms turn off the sell side and go to the buy side. Okay, so we'll find out when it presses that path. I always tell people, these numbers and, these crazy things, like yesterday at 4:30, they put up the wall. On Wall Street, when we see a wall, we take them down. That's just the way it goes. That's the way we're taught.
So, on those, just on the calls, on the $5, $6, $7 July calls, yes, if it explodes upward today or Monday, that's easy. But how would you trade those over the next 2 weeks?
I am a believer, as an option trader. We know time is against us. Okay. So as the premiums expand, if I paid, let's say the fives are 70, 75, let's say I bought 150 cents to sell 2 at 80, 2 at 85, 3 at 80, 90, like that, putting them out for sale, getting my initial investment off of $5,000 is most important. And if at the end of the day I wind up with 50 calls for free, okay, with no risk, or 40 calls for free, that is a tremendous option trade, okay? You can stay longer. Listen, if you have the money, it's different. But if you're rolling the dice and you're nervous every tick on the stock, the key to trading is to take some money off the table. You have to do that. And, people always post, option people always lose. That's not true. We made a lot of money doing it, okay? And I just didn't buy options at 50 cents and sell them at $30 every day. I bought options at 50 cents, sold them at 80, bought them back at 40, sold them at $1. I've done 1,000 trades like that. Okay? Instead of using the stock, we're using options. Okay? It's the same type of theory. Okay.
All right. And then one of your loyal questioners is asking, last time the stock Finger went to $9 and it didn't squeeze. Why are you so focused on 527 or 528?
527 is from Tom at buyins.net. We posted it on Twitter. You can see all the data. That is the average on all the shorts in this stock. You know, that number keeps coming down because they keep selling more and more, right? So they keep selling it lower and lower. So that number is coming down. You got to remember the stock had a squeeze to 10 on finger motion, not 9, 10. It went to 9 when it was listed on NASDAQ, crashed down to 60 cents to 10 on the last squeeze. Lynn Partners blasted it back down again, and here we are again. So on that last blast down, that's when the naked short expanded up to, I think it was 110 million, something like that. I can't remember the number. But over the last few months, the number just keeps expanding. We watched them sell 10 million in the last 12 days or 13 days.
Yeah.
And, today's number is going to be big again. They're holding it down, trying to hold it down. We noticed a couple of big buyers around, smart guys buying stock. They do what they have. I don't trade for them, but I could see the pattern. If it was me, I spike it up to $5.05, walk away, let them fill in, and come selling it lower again. And what is Lynn Partners doing? Exactly the way I would want them to do it. Keep offering it. They kept selling. I had a friend who bought $35,000 today, and he got hit at $485 and $470. They were hitting him. I think he bought a total of 40. And he was bidding it, and they just keep coming, trying to knock it down, the 200, the 300, then they hit the bids. It's the same patterns. But again, if they thought they can win, they let the stock go higher. If I was the naked short in finger motion, I would have opened this stock at $8 or $9 today and then pushed it down to make some real money. They're doing the worst possible thing, letting it spike quick and then trying to attack it lower. That brings in buyers. I don't know everyone in stock, but if you're trading a stock like this, you sell the rips and you buy the dips. So if you're not in the stock and you see it rip and you say, okay, the stock is pulling back, you know what? I'm going to buy the dip. And that's what you're seeing. Every time they try to come and offer it, someone comes in and starts poking at it, starts taking it again, and it firms up. That means buyers are standing around here in the 450 to 480 range. They keep poking at it, and eventually they'll stop and it'll turn higher. That's how it works.
Somebody's obviously new to the play and is asking how many total naked shorts are in finger. And maybe you can take an opportunity to explain why you believe those numbers are accurate and even talk about the float.
I don't know the exact number of the float. I can't remember all these numbers, but I do know that there's an insider, Li out of China, just filed. Obviously, she's a very powerful person in the company. She owns 20 to 25% of the company. I know there's a big fund manager that bought 5 to 10% of the company. I know a group out of Puerto Rico owns 10% of the company. So you're talking about, 50, 60% of the whole company gone already, besides the free trading shares have all gone. So I don't know who's selling more shares, but the actual float, I think, is very small. Maybe 15 million shares, maybe. I'm blank. I'm just making up a number right now. But it's not bigger than that. And I think we know where all those shares are. So basically, we all know what Lynn's doing. We know they're digging a bigger hole. We all know it's tied to Lynn. And we know what's going on. So that's it. But
this guy's asking a pretty smart question. At $5, do retail brokers and institutions come into the stock? Or above $5?
Merrill Lynch has the Merrill Lynch rule. Okay? Merrill Lynch rule was $3 or $150 it's either $3 or a $300 million market cap. If you don't meet that qualification, they don't allow brokers to buy the stock of Merrill Lynch and anyone who clears Merrill. But since this is a NASDAQ stock, I think they do allow it. Again, I'm not a retail broker, so I don't know what the rules are for retail brokers. I think $5 is or maybe 3 or 5 is the margin line. I think it's $3 is the margin line.
Well, it
People to
depends.
stop buying on margin.
It depends.
I don't think institutions, I don't think brokers, I don't think anyone really gives a shit. If you like the stock, I think you just buy it.
You have answered this before, but Alpine was granted an injunction. What are your
Means nothing.
thoughts?
Again, Alpine is dragging their feet, fighting this for a reason. They're fighting the regulatory bodies of the United States. They're not coming out of this thing as Goldman Sachs. Okay? They're under investigation for a reason. People are attacking them in the courts for a reason. They want to shut them down because they're crooks. That's it. The United States court system allows these guys to defend themselves like a guy on death row. Right? Guys that murdered 10 people always go there and they try to appeal to stay alive. Right? It's the same theory. It's the same thing.
So one person's asking a slightly different question than what I'm going to ask you. If the stock closes above 5 today, do you think they'll put higher strike prices out?
Yes.
Yeah.
As the stock moves higher, the strike prices will be added on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then how long do you think the squeeze will take?
Well, just look at this stock today. It was a PWM, that squeezed from 7 to 20 today. Is it over yet? I don't think so. I don't know nothing about it.
Well, maybe you can talk about your friend, what he told you about Jeffries and Jeffries' attitude toward not bringing money in.
Jeffries, I spoke to a friend who worked at Jeffries, who was, charged of their prime broker services, very aware of everything that happens to Jeffries. If they have a margin call, they have to deposit treasuries or come up with cash, or else they're dead. That's it. So either they're putting up a lot of money, capital. With the stock at $5, they need to put up, and Jeffries or anybody will change that number immediately, saying, okay, the stock is $5. You need to put margin money of $8 a share. And you say, oh my God, the stock's $5. Why would I put 8? Because if the stock moves up, and you don't say the stock starts running, and you don't put up any more money, we're on the hook for anything over $8.
Right.
So you have to deposit cash here to cover in case the stock goes higher. Right. That's the margin. As the stock, this stock closes at 5 today, they may ask him and say, you need $9, not 8. You need 9. We need to get protected here. If you want to play, you got to put up the money. As the stock moves higher, they reserve the right to change that number.
Could they do it intraday during the day? Just say
anytime they want.
Yeah, and they're not here to protect Jeff Easton and
Jeff Easton is Jeffries and Company is not going to risk their $8 billion market cap company for Jeff Easton and his friends in Australia. That ain't happening.
Yeah. And then one thing, just for everybody, just so people realize, if you're only in one stock or you're in MMTLP, a lot of the reason you recommended Ham Wolf was as a trade, and it's now benefiting GTII. Maybe you can talk about that.
Well, I worked on a trading desk, and when you call hedge funds up, if you say the same name all the time, they just hang up the phone. Say, what else do you have? They would make fun of you. They call you a broken record. So you need to actually help investors make money to help support things that they want to do. So Wolf Trade is now actually coming back and paying and helping out in GTII. And the reason you say, why isn't it helping Finger? Finger's been moving. So people like to look at it and say, okay, GTI is just laying stuck in the mud here at between 80 and $1. You know what? Let's pick the bottom here. That's how these guys look at these things. Investors look at things like that.
I'm not sure I got this question. Go ahead. No, I cut you off.
They look for things that are just laying around, and GTII is down from 9. So to pick it up below $1, below $1.10, I believe, to them is a win. That's how they look at it.
By the way, that's a good opening to one of your trading strategies. When a stock is flat on its back, like Finger was just 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, that's the time maybe in your mind to load up when there's not a
Well, if
lot
you know
of
the
premium.
story, listen, it all starts with education.
Yep.
If the story changes, then, I'm out. Stories changed. And MULN, the story changed. He had the opportunity. He dragged his feet. He's changing the story now, but I don't know how much damage he's done to himself by waiting so long, right? I helped that guy out in January,
Right.
right? GNS, he had the story. He had it going. What did he do? He settled with the short sellers, right?
Yep.
Story changed. Finger motion, story stronger. GTII, the story stronger. Wolf, the story stronger. They paid off everybody. They paid off the toxic lenders. The stories are stronger. They haven't changed. They've gotten better. That's how I look at these things.
Got you. So this, I think I'm misreading this guy's comment or question, but if the Lind partners are arrogant and stupid, would they know it?
No, absolutely not. I think they think they're geniuses and that they're always right. I've never seen it. I've told you before. I watch guys who are tremendous traders get cold and lose 5 days in a row. The boss will come over and say, "Hey, you lost $8 million," and they tap you on the shoulder, turn off your computer, and throw you right out. That's how it works.
I had a boss. I had a boss. He was a good guy, but there was one broker whose numbers just never hit, and he wouldn't take any hints. So he came in and took the guy's Quotron away, took his computer away, said, "Hey, you can stay here, but you don't have a computer anymore."
Right. I'm just saying that Wall Street, the people that work on Wall Street in management have black hearts. They need to produce and protect their job, their family, and they don't give a shit about you. You lose, you're out. That's just the way it goes.
Yep. And these guys don't have any skills other than lying to CEOs.
All they do is lie to CEOs. We won't short the stock. They have a trading room. I don't know where the trading room is. For I know is they're hiding it on the floorboards in their office in Manhattan. And those people in the photos that we see, Lind Partners, there's no way those people know how to even answer a phone or understand the price. They have someone doing it. I don't know who's doing it for them, but it's not them.
So in Finger, right now it's 309, and I think you have to go at 315. But Finger's 473, 472 by 483, 200 by 6, 1.284 million shares. I was hearing that there might be a big buyer today or soon.
I've heard this. I heard yesterday there were big buyers around. I heard there's a bigger buyer around today. What else? I can't control how they do it.
Well, if they're big, they're probably professional, so they're not going to spike it. But would you hazard a guess on how you think it might trade the rest of the day? One reason I'm asking you is I would think that if there's any opportunistic shorts in the stock today, they may cover by the end of the day. That's just my...
Listen, there's got to be a few knuckleheads that are tied to Lind that tries to sell it short somewhere between 5, pushing it down, whatever. Maybe this morning at 4:20 or 4:30 when they tried to break it down again, broke it down to 4:10 this morning. They put some pressure on it. Those people, by the end of the day, will give up and try to cover. Yes, I do believe that they will try to cover on the close.
Yeah, okay.
And if the big buyer steps up into the close and the short is trying to cover, I think that 527 will be reached if those two things happen.
And it'll be interesting. Do you believe, and obviously none of us know, but if Tom Ronk's theory is correct, 527, 528, 530, whatever you want to call it, could get really interesting because the selling stops and the buying begins.
The stock, again, we're standing here for 4 minutes and the stock's traded, 500 shares. Where are they going? What are they doing? Pushing it down brings in buyers. We know there's buyers standing there accumulating. They can push it, sell it down again. They can do their attacks. Whether they get beat up today or get beat up next week. The beating is coming. That's what I see coming.
Yeah.
It doesn't make. This is a company that has fundamentals. This is not a company that they can try to jerk. They tried to destroy, but the company doesn't need the money. They got the wrong gang. This is the wrong stock.
That's true of GTII too. They don't need the money.
They're just standing here. They've been fighting for a long time, and these guys just kind of manipulate it, trying to get it to. Again, where are they going? They're doing 100 shares back and forth, and they're just trying to jerk everybody around.
What do you think of, for lack of a better term, what do you think of the put-call ratio in the stock? Or the call-put ratio?
Everyone on Wall Street that I speak to laughs at it. I've never seen anything like that before. So whoever's shorting the stock is short the options. That's another 3 million shares short. So if they're shorting the stock and they're short 152, add another 3 to that 155.
So you think they're the ones selling the calls?
Well, no one else can be tied to that. The market makers are not. They're crazy, but they're not suicidal. If they don't know what's going on with the stock, okay, there's no way they're going to be selling those calls.
This is exquisite stupidity, potentially.
This is Fraud Street at its best. I can't tell you how crazy this is. That someone is double short. They're shorting the stock, naked shorting the stock, and the real short of 313,000 shares. Yeah, don't forget about that idiot. 316,000 shares. They're shorted $1.50. The stock is $5. 300,000 shares down 3.5 points. The most they can make is 400,000. They're down over 1 million already. Whoever that short is, who's tied to Lynn, who's short 316,000 shares, they should put a straitjacket on him already. That's how stupid that trade is.
Well, this is going back to the same question. So sorry. I guess everybody everybody listens differently. Do you still think the $6 calls are good for July, even though there's only a fortnight left?
Do I still think they're good?
Yeah. But yeah, and maybe you can talk about it. I mean, they're good in the sense of a punt, of a punt.
Well, you call it a punt, right?
Yeah.
Listen, again, buying calls in any stock is risky because you're basing it on time, correct?
Right.
So you have to deal with that. It's time premium. That's what you're looking at. So if the stock is showing you strength, how are you going to play it? Do you want to go buy the in the money call? Or do you want to buy the out of I'll tell you.
You're kind of going in and out like a robot. I don't know if you're standing somewhere.
No, I'm moving. So
All
I just jumped in the car. I have to go pick up my son, but I'm
I
still
see.
here. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. GTII apparently is at 108, by the way. I didn't see it, but
I'm not even looking at it. Okay, I told you. My friends said they were paying up to 110. So if they want to keep selling it, these guys will keep buying it. And they'll buy it up to 110. That's what I was told. I don't, why they picked $1.10? I don't know. Got me.
well, this is something people should understand. Even though Alpine got an injunction, that's legal mumbo jumbo. Alpine didn't get an injunction on laws of laws of margin and and needing to bring in new money to cover money.
Alpine is under the watchful eye of the feds. Trust me, they know there's fraudulent activity that's been done through Alpine. Okay, when they peel back what do you call it, the onion? When they peel back peeling back the onion?
I never do that. I hate onions.
So that's these guys. They're not coming at it as Goldman Sachs. I keep telling you that. Once you get the death blow on Wall Street, everyone stays
Peeling
away
back
from you.
the veil, maybe?
Once you get this stink on Wall Street, no one does business with you. Now they have to clean it up. We're just waiting for them to get cleaned up, and that could happen at any time. Same thing.
We're 1,289,000 shares. It's just not trading, and it's 475.
Again, where are they going? What are they doing? I don't get it. You know, how do you not? They've been losing for 12 days, 13 days in a row. You don't cover back any shares. That's the first thing. Anyone who oversees a trading operation, you have to understand how to take a loss. Making money is easy. Taking a loss is hard. If you don't know how to do it, they tap you on the shoulder, get the cane around your neck, and they drag you out. That's how it works. And I've seen it done 1,000 times.
Yeah.
To great guys. I'm not talking about guys that from the street. I'm talking about professional guys who went cold. When you go cold, trust me, no one wants any part of you. And the traders for Lynn aren't cold. They're ice cold.
Well, they don't trade. They don't raise money, and they don't trade. So
well, whatever they're doing, it's completely wrong. And just look at it, okay? For anybody on this call, all right? I don't care if there's 1 or 1,000 people here. GameStop, they sold short at $3.75. I reported it every day to everyone on Wall Street. I said these guys are nuts. You never short something like that. You cover it, get away from it. These guys wanted to bankrupt the company so they didn't pay taxes. That's what they were doing. And it just took one, and the guys lost billions of dollars over it. And now you see the damage that is done when you bet the wrong way and it goes against you. The guy from Volkswagen jumped in front of a train. Okay? Someone put a report that Michael Jordan was somehow tied to Merlin Capital. And he lost $500 million. And that's why they took over the basketball team.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he just bet on the Reds.
If you look on Twitter, I retweeted it this morning. It's a guy describing the whole thing. How Michael Jordan got caught up with Merlin Capital.
He was rich already.
But imagine losing $500 million being short. That's what happened to him. He lost the basketball team over it.
It's depressing. But it's our time. It's our time to...
I'm trying to show you that billionaires trying to squeak out more returns, listening to these guys with this strategy of shorting things. It worked until it doesn't work, and instead they risk their empires, and it happens. These guys get blown up. It happens all the time.
They just go into a fog, I guess. The stock isn't trading.
They get caught. They get caught, and that's what happens. Lynn Partners has been stealing and looting and making $20 million and $10 million, and all it takes is one to lose $1 billion, $2 billion, $5 billion, and all of a sudden they're vaporized from the earth. That's what's going to happen to them.
And they're not invited back to the country clubs and the hoity-toity parties.
Everything goes out the window, and I can't wait for them to go out. I need a new end table.
Maybe we'll go get their office and start our own firm.
I want to get their end table and their watches. We're going to take their watches and give them the Dirty Mayo and to some of the other shareholders, Avid, and we'll give it to Busy Brands. We'll take their Rolexes.
Here in Philadelphia, it's worth $50. That's that scene in Trading Places when he hawks his watch. It can tell time in Stad. The stock's 473. Popular question here is, which one's going first, GTII or Finger?
Well, PWM is going first. It went today. So that's number one. Again, I never heard of this stock before. I was told about it this morning, and it ran up 10 points higher. You don't know when they're going to go. Finger looks ready to go. GTII, I told you there's really smart guys accumulating down here. But they're position people. They'll just keep buying for a month. They'll just keep accumulating. That's how they operate.
Busy
I
Brands
think we're,
Busy Brands says, "How are you doing?"
so busy. Listen, everyone, Busy Brands introduced GTII to the water company. He's a gentleman and a scholar for trying to help out. And it turns out the gentleman with the water company is a real deal guy. And like I said, water is liquid gold. So thank you, Busy, for that help.
There's some. I don't have it in front of me, but there is an article out about 50% of the United States cities' tap water is so poisoned with chemicals it affects your DNA. You shouldn't be drinking it. 50% of our tap water.
So again, GTII has the water deal. Busy brought it to the table, and congratulations, and thank you again for helping us all out.
Busy should be screening all these questions. What happens if Alpine doesn't start to cover? I don't know what that means. I think they're going to be forced to cover.
Guys, listen. Wall Street is about checks and balances. If no one's going to cover a fail to deliver, a naked short when everybody goes bankrupt, then we should all move to the Caymans and just start doing it. Why we just sell penny stocks? Let's go sell Apple Computer and not deliver it all day. Why would you sell a $5 stock or a $1 stock? I'd go sell a $200 stock, sell 1,000 shares a day, and just live like a king.
But that's the thing. Regardless of what FINRA, SEC, everybody else does, when it comes down to money, when they start losing, they're going to cover it.
That's how it goes. Once Wall Street, if you have a trading error, it doesn't last. You must close it out. If you bought it, you sell it. If you're short, you buy it back. That's just the way it goes. Never trade or take a position of an error. It always turns into a nightmare. Always.
So one person's suggesting there's a home of elderly ladies and men that you can play pickleball at.
I got abused yesterday by two 25-year-olds.
And they thought you were the old man.
I tried my best. I was blasting away, but I just couldn't keep it on the court. I was hitting the ball too hard. And they were quick. They got out of the way. Those old ladies don't move so fast. I nail them all the time. Especially the ones with their walkers. Actually, I told you the story. The gentleman I was playing against and the woman partner, she was a tennis player. And the gentleman lobbed up a ball to me, and I hit an overhand smash into the woman's chest. And she bent over, and I ran over, and I thought I really hurt her. And she said she was okay, but she had some sort of device to check her glucose in her body, some sort of meter that was attached to her body, I guess, right in her stomach, somewhere in her stomach area. I think I nailed that. So that was the first for me. I was like, oh boy.
I can see why you were so successful.
Anyway, so that's it. Everybody's okay.
Well, let me just see if there were some questions while we got off topic.
So I came home in shame yesterday from hitting the woman with the pickleball the day before, whatever it was.
Well,
then they sent out the two young guys to beat me up. To shut me down.
You've got a lot of fans, believe it or not. So when
I don't need a fans. Listen, just when this all works out, line up in pickleball, and I'll knock you off. I'll hit you home.
Well, and
they'll get a pickleball tattoo. That'll be my gift.
Ham also suggests that you donate to anybody that saves elephants if you make money.
Yeah, I love elephants. My son studied abroad in Thailand, and we got to see him there. If you ever see him up close, and just amazing animals, just amazing.
I can't believe how we kill so many animals. Somebody's asking about Vocal, so I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Vocal is the tail. Vocal's going to be the tail on the dog. We have to wait. I won't go any further on that.
Yeah, that's fine. I just asked it because, frankly, a lot of people here are invested in
My
it.
daughter yells at me every day about it. She paid 80 cents for it. Trust me, I hear it every day.
I know. All right, so the stock really isn't trading, Finger. It's 1,312 shares, 475, 467 by 476. So I guess that in 3 minutes we'll find out if there's going to be a run for the roses.
What's 3 minutes?
3:30. I don't know.
If the market's open till 4, remember.
I know that, but 3:30 used to be a big number when margin was around.
Again, I don't understand how they're still standing, who's still playing, selling 100 shares back and forth. Again, it's just a waste of human time to sit here and babysit this all day. Again, to me, these stocks they're on autopilot. Let's use that word. Okay? There's people that understand the finger motion squeeze, that people understand the finger motion data. There's people that understand the GTII data, the short positions. Okay, the story has not changed. The stories are stronger. I believe the federal government is going to catch. If they caught Savvy, those guys with the naked short selling scheme, they're catching these characters. We have the truck in front of the SEC, the DOJ, the FBI, CNBC, Fox, you name it, we've done it. So if you're telling me that they're not going to catch these guys, you're out of your bird. I can't believe that.
So if
I look every day at the SEC enforcement actions every day to see when they're going to announce these things. I look at it every day. So
if Jeffries is the prime broker, I don't know if it is, but if Jeffries is the prime broker and they start buying in, they're not going to accept failed to delivers or IOUs for those shares. Am I right?
Jeffrey starts buying. Listen, once these guys are forced to stop selling, there's nobody else here. I told you, naked shorts only play in their own sandbox. They don't go anywhere else.
But they have to buy real shares back, or they have to buy delivered shares back.
You have to buy delivered shares, yes.
Yeah. So that's just
It'll be once you stop this. These guys can't go short the buy-in someplace else. That ain't gonna work.
Right. So it's going to be a brutal trajectory once it starts. Yeah, they're one guy's saying to everyone to make sure their GTC orders are in because some have been canceled.
Listen, you can do this. You can make sure you have option sell orders in all the time because the stock can squeeze and you can miss it. So always put it out there. Just you don't have to sell them all. Put something out there. Always make a sale.
Here's a good question, I think. But he asked, should we short Jeffries after this runs? I think you should potentially take it now.
If this starts to run, I would have no problem buying puts in Jeffries because that means we know where it is. Right? We heard Alpine was the prime. We got it from the CEO of DBMM. I can't remember who told me Jeffries was there was Lynn Partners Prime. For some reason, that name keeps sticking in my head. And I'm trying to find out who told me. And when I do, I can get confirmation of it. But, yes, I would definitely think that Jeffries is worth $7 billion. Finger motion could bankrupt them.
Yeah. They're not going to let that happen.
They're not going to let that happen. So it's either the Jeffries is got when they get blindsided, this is what happens.
1,317,500. They're just not trading. All right, it's 3:30. Let's test my theory. Somebody's asking how. I don't know how you answer this. How many days? Is it 1 day or multi-day for the squeeze if it happens? I don't know. Boy. Don't know how to answer that.
It depends how the stock goes up. If it shoots up to 20 and pulls back real fast, and there's other short sellers coming into it, then it can last a lot of days. If you don't get that type of, I think personally it could have a rocket right out of the gate and not stop. I don't believe anybody else wants to jump into this fight.
I didn't think you could pump your own gas in where you're from, or you're not buying gas right now?
No, just picking up my son.
Oh, uh, anyone know the magic number for GTII to start their squeeze? Ah, that's reasonable. What do you think is the squeeze point on GTII?
Well, they've been selling stock below $1 for what, 2 months now, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys have piled on again. They all do the same thing. They thought we were going away. We're going to give up on them, and here we are right back over $1. Correct?
Yeah.
They've been selling it at 80, 79, $1. Remember, it broke $1. They've been laying into it. Remember those trades? So the number is huge. We're coming up on the restricted dividend share is going to be live soon. Remember, MMTLP is a dividend. How big of a headache did that cause for the street?
That's right.
I've been telling you, dividends create the mess.
All right, this is, I don't know if he's telling me I don't understand it or not. It says, William, don't really understand the algo thing. If the algo switches to buy after 528, who writes or controls the algos? They can't be changed?
This is something that professional people that follow the algos are telling me.
I think it has a little bit to do with cutting your losses short.
That's exactly what it is. You listen, how many stocks are there? 10,000? So let's say there's 5 of them today that the algos got crushed on, right? There's 9,500, 9,950 that they're still making money off of, correct?
GTII just hit 110, apparently.
Well, that's the number they said they were buying up to. It's pretty magical, right?
And somebody pointed out that's what it looked like before it ran. He's asking, will we go live for the squeeze? Look, this isn't group homework time. When it squeezes, I'll probably go live, but you better have your orders in. There, you can't really we can't hold each other's hands very well. You have to make your own.
You got listen, people. Protect your own family, your own, whatever it is. Okay. Again, every time I tried to get rich on one trade, it never panned out for me. So I'm always protective, making sure that I'm not going to kill myself and jump out of a. Just look at the guy from Volkswagen. He was short. He lost $9 billion. You know, why would you risk all that? So I look at it. Just be smart in what you're doing. Live for another day. Make money. If you can't handle the pressure, that's just the way it goes. There's nothing you can say.
Go to the kitchen. No, how does that?
It's not an easy game. It's not. You have to have thick skin to play this game.
Well, I was wrong about 330. The volume hasn't changed at all. It's 1,321,000.
Again, I don't even know what the stock is levitating at its highs over here. What are they doing? Selling 100 shares? Remember, they're trying to just mark it down to get pennies. That's all they're doing, right? They don't want to sell anymore. When they find a buyer comes in, the stock turns.
It's going to be a long weekend. There are probably phone calls from the regional manager, the national manager, the CEO at Jeffries, and the heat's going to be on these guys, I would think.
Well, I really like the idea, and I'm going to really start paying attention to Jeffries on the short side.
No, I looked at the puts. The stock was up 51 cents today. I mean, you could buy 3 puts out, buy them out a little bit longer, and when they collapse, sell one of them.
I would definitely give time because, like Credit Suisse, there was the reaction. That guy Bill, I keep forgetting his name.
Bill Huang.
Yeah, whatever his name was. He blew up, and I kept saying that the system can't take hits like this. Nomura, Credit Suisse, they lost $15 billion on that guy. Okay, and then give it some time, and all of a sudden, Credit Suisse is out of business. So the fallout came 3 months later, right?
Right. Well, and I would suggest to everyone you could do it across a lot of banks because it's likely this October is going to be ugly, but who knows? The symbol for Jeffries is JEF. Someone's asking. And someone suggests.
I just got a text from Avid Trader. He just posted a new video. He suggests everyone go give him a view. The guy does good work. Help him, give him a good view on this stuff. He's helping us out here. He recaps everything that we talk about. So again, in his own words, he just put a new video out. So give it a good.
We'll do that. His videos are excellent, and I'll play a little bit of it when we hang up.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But he just texted it to me. I just saw it. But again, watch it, understand, people, education about this game. This is not, you're getting my 40 years, 35 years, whatever it is, experience, and all my friends. I told you this, everyone around me has been in the business north of 30 years. I mean, professional people that worked at Lehman. I have some people from Seattle that worked at E.F. Hutton. Most people don't even know what E.F. Hutton is.
They all have flip phones, clam phones.
Think how old that guy is. He worked at E.F. Hutton, There's people here from all walks of life. There's people working at Kid Peabody. You guys don't even realize the talent, the education, the back office people that we have.
Well,
the people that sold, my friend sold Pat Byrne T-Zero's name.
I have said often when I was younger, if I could have spoken with a guy like you, I would have made all my clients rich. We didn't have this kind. I never in my professional career had this kind of access to what the mindset of the trading desks are. And it's huge.
I can tell you right now that the mindset for an over-the-counter trader is to short it and buy it back. Short it, buy it back, short it, buy it back. Because there's always a seller. That's their mindset. And they can always buy a stock, right?
Right.
That's the over-the-counter traders. When an order came in, they sold it. They sold it at $5. They bought it back at $4.98, $4.97, $4.95. The mindset of the naked short is sell it, then they never buy it back. It's very different. And it's only here because the rules are all completely broken.
So KYP said she'll meet you anywhere to play pickleball.
That's right. She's in Brooklyn, right?
She's in Brooklyn.
All right, so
she says she's going to whoop your skinny butt.
All right, I'm in. I'm ready to go. So next week we'll set it up. William, you take care of that. You tell me tell me what park she plays in, and I'll be there.
All right. I'm not sure she's listening right now, but
you better come and gunning for her. We'll see our good friend Lou in Bay Ridge. We'll stop and see him also.
Well, Lou apparently is supporting GTII, and frankly,
Lou's a great guy. But you know what? When the pizza bill came, his arms got short like an alligator. Lou, come on, Lou, you got to pick up the pizza tabs.
Yeah, KYP. Yeah, well, anyway, Lou got things right. He didn't get them all right, but he got some right, so,
No, I'm talking about our Lou that we met in D.C.
Lou, Father Guido Sarducci.
Yes, a very nice man.
Very nice guy, hardworking, and I would argue he sounds like, I know one other person, but he's probably one of the best realtors in New York City.
That's his business, and he came and helped us out, and I always appreciate it. I'll never forget him for it. He came down, he stood side by side with us. So.
He worked his butt off. All right, so it's 477 to 484. My theory was completely wrong. The volume now is 1,336,000.
Let's look at it this way, people. Okay, this is my opinion on it. If you don't own it, you got to own one share. You have to be there. Because if we're right, you're going to get a bottle rocket. That's it. That's my opinion of it. I got it. It's expensive. It's $4.70. You can buy one call. If I was always a fool because I sold and I traded and I let a lot of stocks run. I should have held on. the GameStop, we sold it at I told you 118, I think was the high. How did I not hold on to 10 calls? Because guess what? Looking at 500,000 of profit was too invaluable to me to not sell and take the profit, right?
Yeah.
But I should have held on to 10 calls. I would have made more money on the 10 calls than the whole position.
I'm getting this question a lot. How high does GTII go in a squeeze?
I looked at finger motion and I label it as VW because of the insider holding positions that were just announced. That is the curveball that is the match that lit Volkswagen short squeeze was the ownership by Porsche. All right.
Right.
The ownership in Jeep and finger motion is the same thing. It's all owned by insiders. The ownership was just filed the other day. That's why I labeled that Volkswagen. It's the same thing. GTII has a different feel to it. I'm not sure which stock I'm going to label it as. There's one from many years ago from 1999. Sam, Frank, Eddie ran to thousands of dollars. They did dividends, and it's called Safeguard Scientific, I believe, out of Pennsylvania. I knew my friend Joe was running that company. And that company it was a big short squeeze to thousands. Go back to 1999. Sam, Frank, Eddie. Go get the prices. Go look at it. That was a monster short squeeze that no one knows about. All right? Was it like Taser? Was it like Peloton? Was it like Riot Blockchain? GTI is a different stock than Finger Motion. Finger Motion is labeled because of the ownership, and it was just posted. It's completely owned by everybody. That is insane.
GTII is 112 on 1.7 million shares right now. And just for everybody, I mean, I know charts don't matter. My opinion, if it stays above 103, 104, the next stop is 190, $1.90. That's my opinion.
Everybody on this call, give a shout out to Wolf, because Wolf is funding your GTII.
Yeah.
We call that a source of funds. They're raising capital, just like Kathy Woods does. She sells one position, she goes and buys this position, right?
She always hurries up to be in the current fad. That's not very nice of me to say. They just halted trading in PWM, they're saying.
Oh, where's it trading at?
I don't know. I don't have my screen up. My screen's on NASDAQ, so I don't know. Someone will tell me. GTII 112.
Right. Well, again, just look at Wolf. The higher Wolf goes, the more sales. There's 6 million shares of Wolf.
$21. It's trading at $21.
All right, so that's anyway. But that's what's going on. I told you they're selling Wolf, not because it's negative. They're taking profits, moving it into something cheaper. That's all. U.S.
Tahoe's very good. He says the next resistance is $1.15, but I really think it's headed to 190 pretty quickly.
Right. So that's a quick 2 million shares that these guys laid into it again. So if anyone thinks there's short interest in GTII, people aren't rushing to the door. The stock was barely trading till it starts to move. Once it starts to move, the machines come on and they start selling again.
And all those shorts, I don't know what, the hyenas, the whatever you want to call them, they're all underwater. They're not going to keep doing it. They don't have endless funds.
Right. So. Well, like I said, the game comes to an end all the time. These games have been going on for a long time. We've been following Finger for 5 years. I've been following GTI for 3 now.
This guy, JMR Photographic, has been calling Kodak for about 6 weeks. It's up 6% more. So.
What price is it? $5.30?
I don't know. He didn't say, but I guess it's over $5.
Listen, we did our part trying to get the politicians to get behind the city of Rochester. We know there's a big short in it. I don't know the numbers. The last
$5.90. It's trading at $5.90.
Wow.
Isn't that something? Do you think that could squeeze again?
Yes. I think the last time it ran to 12 and then it pulled back. So, that's the levels. It was, I think, 7 to 12, and then they finally got it under control again. But I think it's something that could break out. I've been reporting on it since we've been in D.C. I begged them to help this city Kodak out. I've done everything I could.
585. This guy should run a
Yeah,
space
he's
call.
fidelis. Yeah, go out there and be a money manager now. All right, good luck.
Everyone wants to know your opinions on crypto coins, and I know for a fact you don't follow any of them.
My friends are the biggest crypto players in the world. If you ask them, we can find you out the answer. I don't know.
Yeah. 477, 1,346,000 shares. 479.99. They're trying to get through 480 right now.
Again, you have to. It's like the lottery. You can't win it unless you're in it. And I know it's money, and I know you have to make that determination. But we've been following this a long time. We've been providing you the information. If we're right, you're going to get something that, like a PWM, it's going to be quick and just the way it is. Bailing out, I'm not even looking at it. The company's going to
Right.
that's how you got to look at it. That's how I look at it.
I'm showing 900 shares for sale at 480. I don't know how is that holding, but they did their last trade at 47999.
That is their way of testing to see what the buyers have. You have to show up. No one's going to put. If you have 10,000 to buy, you're going to show them your 10,000. So they're trying to get you to scoop up their 9 so they can figure out what you have. That's how they test it.
Oh, I see. It's weird though. The volume's still only 1,347,000. We've got 8 minutes to go. No, sorry, 12 minutes to go.
Again, I don't know what their purpose is. The stock is in nowhere's land here. The stock is up. They're taking a margin beating. They're not selling 10 million shares here. So what exactly are they doing? I don't know.
The ask just moved up, and they're saying it's trading at 480. I don't see that yet, but apparently I don't know anything about BBIG, but it's up 70%. Someone's telling me.
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff going on at the SEC. I think the pressure on the naked short selling is mounting. All right. I think that these things, you're going to get these. I don't know them all. Again, you can see that there's problems going on. Everyone's yelling about it. MULN has finally put out a press release. I'm hearing there's other companies that are going to put out press releases about naked short selling from shareholders calling me up who spoke to management. And, so they're all retaining lawyers and fighting this fight. Everyone's had enough of it. And I appreciate everybody. If you're on Twitter, stock twits, wherever, spread the word. I don't care what stock you're in. Get your CEO to speak up and say something and fight back. Otherwise, you're just going to get robbed. They're stealing from you, your kids, your grandkids, you name it. That's what they do.
460. They just traded it down on the bid at 457. They're fighting for every penny here on the close. It's 10 minutes to the close. 1,442,000. 457 by 483.
So someone needed to sell fast and knock it down. I mean, it's just again, they're just fighting for pennies. This is the sign of death.
This is fraud in slow motion. And
right.
If the SEC's watching or FINRA's watching, why do you allow this?
Right.
Why are you watching me instead of going after this? They have computers. It's 460 to 483.
Right.
Last trade 459. There's two on the bid. 200 shares.
Well, they never show. Listen, I had a friend buying 25,000 the other day. I told you the story, and they wouldn't show his bid. They were showing 800 shares. He doesn't control it. He put the order in, and they don't control it. He was screaming and yelling that they don't show his size.
So I wonder why I guess they just 5 cents or 10 cents makes a big difference in the margin call over the weekend. I guess.
Well, I've always told you, if they thought they can win, why would they sell it lower all the time? They can't win. They know it, and that's why they attack. They try to sell stock at the market to try to knock it down. Listen, I can't guarantee you what's going to happen, but you have to understand, and I hope you do, and William just explained to you, you just learned one of their games, trying to mark it down. There you go. Kamikaze. Just, crash the plane at all costs, try to sink the ship. That's all they're trying
They just
to do.
did it, and I guess mine is slow, but it's 436 last trade. Bid 437 to 456. Now it's 435 bid to 456. Last trade 440. Maybe 20,000 shares traded, 30,000 shares traded.
That's all that they're here to try to do. This is what they do. I can't stop that. There you go. You see the patterns. They try to do it in the morning, and they try to do it near the close.
Maybe someone's pointing out they might be just going down there to trigger stop losses. That's certainly possible.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. And I keep trying to tell you, stop with the stop losses. They just take you out. That's what they do. And there you go. At least you understand that. Again, you don't have to invest, but you have to understand what's going on.
450 by 456 now.
Right.
So GTII's 108. Unbelievable.
It's the same pattern. GTI gets to 112. Hurry up, sell it down. I need 4 cents to save me.
I think they're going to be disappointed in Finger in the last few minutes. They're trying to drive it down. I think the buyers will keep the pressure on them.
Hey, listen, it's Friday at 5 minutes to 4. Professional people, they leave and go on vacation. They're not all peasants.
Right.
They go away. They have their orders. They do what they do, and that's just the way it goes. Hey, people accumulating stocks want it at their levels, not to make you happy.
Right.
Maybe they just hit them for 20,000. I don't know. Right?
It's 448, 449, 450. 1,538,000 shares, 449 by 456.
Listen again. They sent out the kamikaze pilot to try to knock it down. Where are they going? Most people I don't even know anybody who paid north of 485. My friend paid 485. Who paid 505? I don't know. It could be the big buyer. I don't know. Let them do it.
I think they're just showing how weak they are because this isn't much of a bear raid.
Well, at least you understand the bear raid. You get to see it. You understand it. And that, there's nothing more I can do. I can't stop it. This is the SEC's job to do it, not mine. Again.
Well, it's obvious manipulation, but they look the other way.
They just try to get people to panic out. That's it. Hurry up, run. Anyway, listen, have a great weekend. And
all right.
I'll speak to you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Thanks everyone. A lot, Ham. Have same to you. Bye. All right, everyone. I'll try to answer any questions, but we'll see. We can watch this. We can watch this till it closes for sure. This is supposed to be at the level of my voice, but it looks so large. The actual volume happens in the dark pools. I'm not sure with Finger, but maybe. 450 was the resistance. Now it will be support. I think that's right, Kit, and it may be a buy-in launch. We're 455, 460, 461 last trade, 1,552,000. I'm wondering if this will go over 2 million in volume in the last 4 minutes. How's that for a projection? Dip before the rip. I'm not going to say that's what she said because I don't know if she said it or you said she said it. MULN, I don't know. I don't even know where it's trading. Next time I have a call, I'll have a screen up that's real time and I can get quotes. But right now, I don't know where MULN is trading. I think you got to be really careful. I think anytime that stock goes up, the shorts are going to short it back down. Well, it's Friday, Cryptic, but there's no expiry date today. But you're right. I think that's right. Mall is at 19 cents. So they, I know it's a gutsy projection. There's only 3 minutes, Kit. So it's 20 cents for Mullen, MULN. It's up from 10 cents, I think, but down from 30 cents. Look, they're fighting. They've announced a share buyback over a year, but and they have cash and they have revenue potential. So there's some ingredients there for success. I don't know about the 450 million. Do you think they want finger under 450 for margin? We can play. Let's just see if I'm correct in my outrageous call for the last 2 minutes. It looks like I'm going to fall way short. Hi, caramba. 459. But I'll play the beginning at least of Avid's call. So those of you that don't know who he is, you can see his YouTube and join it. MULN 12 cents to 13 cents. Let's go. That would be great. But I think you're going to see it still be under pressure. But all right, the bid is 455, 459, 100 by 363. The volume is 1,570,000. Last trade 455, which remains the bid. 455 by 459, 457 bid. Less than a minute to go, probably less than 30 seconds to go. 455 by 459, 457 last trade. 1,573,000. I'd say less than 20 seconds to go. 453.5, 450 by 457. 1,576,000. Stop trading. Unched. It closed, it looks like, at 455, which for some reason says unchanged. That doesn't ring true to me. Unless that's where it was. I don't know. Anyway, it's 455 in the aftermarket. Maybe that's what it is. It closed up 16 cents and closed at 455. Right now in the aftermarket, it's unch at 455, 450 by 473. Maybe it'll get over 2 million shares in the aftermarket. I don't know. I certainly was wrong about that call. Let's see if I can find Avid's video, because
very exciting day in the markets today. We have 3 stocks on our watch list that are running hard. I want to give you the breakdown, everything you need to know to wrap up today, and then also moving into next week. First, you don't mind smashing that like button, clicking subscribe if you haven't, also turning on those post notifications. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, 3 tickers are going to be TeraWolf, GTII, and Finger Motion. All of them are running hard. All of them are massive call-outs. Let's start with Wolf, and then we'll break into the next ones. So right here, we called this out at 60 cents, very close to the bottom. You can go check out my video. I did a very in-depth overview of the company and why I believe it's extremely undervalued or has a quote-unquote 10x potential from the
Okay.
bottom. Right now, from 60 cents all the way up.
I don't want to listen to it all because I think it would be better if he got your views directly. Avid trader, these penny stocks are running hard. So I think he would value your views directly on his site better than me playing it for you. It's 466 right now, and somebody pointed out that maybe I have a delay. It says I have live, but I don't know. So it's 466, 450, 473. Hey, KYP. Contingent order, trigger order. Contingent order, that's interesting. GTII is the real story today. Well, I would agree. GTII is a huge story today, but I think Finger's a pretty important story. That's interesting. On StockTwits, they're not posting new GTII stories. That's really interesting. Can I break down the GTII stock chart? I'm not that great at it. I'm sure Avid does a better job, but let me show you what I see, which is really simplistic. When you get advice from me on charts, it's simplistic. But I'll start you from just the most basic of basic things I see. It's above the 50-day moving average and closed there at $1.10. I would expect that now 104 becomes support. But you see the 190 up there? That's the 200-day moving average. That's my next target. That's really simplistic. Now, if you go back and you look at the way down, do you see how the stock traded downward? I personally don't think any of those are real resistance levels. I don't believe anybody that bought the stock at those levels is going to sell. What charts try to tell you is where resistance is, basically where people might sell on the way back up. And it's just been an unrelenting downward run. I don't think any of it is anybody's going to sell. So I don't see any of that as resistance. But if you had to call one, probably something around 120 and maybe 140 and maybe 160. I don't see it though. I don't see any of that. Well, I would say something around the 170 range might be a 2 or 3 day. But if this catches fire, I think 190 is where it's headed. I think it'll burst through 190, then 190 becomes support. And I would have to pick around $2.20 to $2.40 as maybe where it takes a breath. And then, 260 to 280, if it punctures that, I don't know. I think it at least goes back to its, $9 or $10 level. If not, we're off to the races. I don't know. Gamma squeeze. I meant to ask Ryan. I meant to ask Ham to explain gamma squeezes for you guys. Let's see, is Arca here? Arca probably has a pretty good idea. Yeah, Candace, Arca does do a good job. I don't see him on here, but I agree with you. Finger is close to the buy-ins. And I agree, GTI is cheap. Wow, one fix it, man. You're up 97K. That's pretty good. I'm proud of you. That's great. Glad to see me having a little fun again. Maybe I'm crying inside. I think whoever was shorting Finger before the close probably is related to Lynn Partners, and they're just doing their darndest to buy the weekend so they can come up with a strategy. That's what I think. Would you say it was victory or failure for the shorts in Finger today? They attacked in the last 15 minutes and knocked it down from up 40 to up 16. I think they had a horrible day. Absolutely horrible day. I think they lost today. They tried, remember earlier in the day, they drove it down to 410, and it's closing in the green. So I think it's going to be a long weekend. I think it's a lot of vodka with a twist tonight, maybe a night on the town tomorrow night, and then a sleepless night Sunday night before they come into work. I'm probably not going to go long tonight because I want to watch Djokovic play, and it's already started. Oh, wow. 5-2. 5-2. The Joker. So when this set ends, right now Wawrinka is serving. When this set ends, I'm going to hang up and go watch the second and third set. Next week could be exciting. Well, logic is simple. Everything, the story is just laying there ready to take form, but the SEC needs to give approval to Aubrey SPAC, and maybe it's tonight, maybe it's next week, but yeah, I think that's right. I think it's just waiting on news. So we're 15-15. Wawrinka is serving. This triggers buying call options and large volume, forcing market makers to cover their positions by buying the underlying stock. Yeah, that's a gamma squeeze. Any Alpine news? Yes, Alpine won an injunction against FINRA, so FINRA cannot expel them perfunctorily. Now they've got to go through the court system. Court system is debating. Apparently, the appeals court believes that Alpine has a valid argument that FINRA doesn't have a constitutional right to enforce the rules it was set up to enforce. So, we'll just have to see how that goes. I think the biggest news on Alpine is GTII closed. I don't know where it closed. Let me look. But it closed at I'm not going to sign in. So it closed approximately at $1.10, up 26 cents. So that's the big news on Alpine. They have a huge margin call issue, I'm sure. 112, okay. 112 is amazing. Thank you, reader. Lovely reader, reader maid. Where would I be without you? Lovely Rita, Rita maid. 4030. 4030. Add in. And I can't see it. I can't see it. Where would I be without you? Send me some and way. All right, 5-3. The Joker is serving for the match. So you guys literally are 4 aces away from me saying Buenos Aires. PWM is sinking in extra hours. Well, that makes sense. Look, traders normally, other than the idiots at Lind Partners and at Power Up Lending, traders like to level up their books before a weekend. I like that song. What a fool. I thought it was Kenny Loggins, but what a fool believes he sees. No wise man has the power. Uh-oh. The point, it's not ad out, but the point goes to Vavrinka. Love 15. To reason away what a fool believes he sees. Yes, thank you very much, M Echo. And remember, this is not going to be a good weekend in the Hamptons. They're going to leave packets of cocaine around the West Wing. Or no, it's where the tourists are. No, it's in the no. Anyway. 15 all. All right, Kit Kitteridge. I think this was a great day to answer the question. I think the shorts lost today. They can go home thinking that somehow they made a dent, but it closed at 450. Well, I don't know. I'm delayed. But on 150 million shares, if that's the correct number, that's a big number. It's a big paper loss. I thought Kenny Loggins wrote, "What a fool believes he sees. No wise man has the power to reason away." Do I think GTII? I suppose. Okay, so now 40-15. One serve away from me saying goodnight so I can watch some of the Joker. Not there yet. It was just my imagination running away with Michael McDonald. That's who it was. Michael McDonald. All right. Can I buy finger one last time at 260-ish before the... No. You're not going to... It's not coming back down. I don't think it's coming down. So it's 40... It's 40... thank you, Jenny. 40-15 Something's going on. Doobie Brothers. I think you guys are all wrong. You're not 100% wrong. But I think you're going to find out that when you run up against me, oh, so we're both half right. It was written by Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins. Best known version recorded by Doobie Brothers. And so you're right. All right, so the set is over. So I'm going to say, as usual, peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy your weekend. This is beginning to feel like what winning is like. And let's see if it carries over. I'm going to guess that they're going to do their best to hit the markets Monday morning. That might give you an opportunity. I don't think at 260, but I think you might get an opportunity to add to positions Monday morning. But I don't think it'll last. That's my guess. But we'll see how it goes. So anyway, I want to get to watching this match because it's what I live for. Hobson, will you pour my bath? It's what I live for. All right. So cheers. And thank you, Jenny. Thanks to everyone. It was a good day. And peace.